Glad to have you back. We got a
Well,
lot to talk
thank you.
about. There's been a lot of development since the last time we talked on here.
For sure. A lot. A lot has
I mean, of
happened.
course, we kept in touch, but yeah, we got a lot to go over,
Sure do.
huh? So, tell us what you got going on.
Well, for once, I haven't been posting much myself on my channel. I'm planning to do so soon for multiple reasons, but I've been studying mathematics because I needed to get them on A levels. And soon I'll be starting physics too. So a lot of studying and exams soon. So not all the time in the world to shoot and edit videos, but I do plan to getting around to it because I've got a new trick that I wanted to teach, and also a lot of reviews coming because I
We
got
definitely
a
got to talk
package.
when you start studying physics. It's like one of the things I'm really into.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
so
What kind of physics?
I mean, I in particular I like quantum physics just because how once you get down to the quantum level, things just the normal laws of physics no longer seem to apply, and I find that really intriguing. It's pretty brain boggling. I think one of my favorite quotes: "If you think you understand quantum physics, you don't understand
No,
quantum
you
physics."
don't.
And I don't think anybody does really. But it's crazy. It's really interesting. It's like so
It
many
is.
aspects to it.
I did a presentation on quantum physics in, well, it wasn't really supposed to be on quantum physics, but it was like in like seventh grade or eighth grade. And it was just because it was fun. Because I had a friend of mine, we were
It's a
both
fun
nerding out about
subject.
quantum physics. So we
Yeah,
found like real basic things like quantum tunneling, explaining what that is in a nutshell
right.
for one of our presentations. It was really fun.
Yeah, quantum entanglement. It just doesn't make sense, but it's pretty crazy. I love all that stuff.
It is very fun.
Even some
I-
of the fringe sciences are fun to look into. You know what I mean?
mm,
It's just because at the end of the day, it's like, really, who knows? We the fun thing about science is that like in 100 years, the things we thought we knew, get disproven, and it always seems to work like that.
yeah.
To a certain extent.
Yeah, of course, to a certain extent. There are some things that are just concrete that we
Right.
already have down, like the periodic table. We can't really change much about it. Sure, sometime in the future we may have a different kind of periodic table, but it's been stuck the same way for a long time.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe things like ghosts actually do exist, but it's just technology we haven't developed yet.
Things that we don't understand at this moment in time.
It's
That's a
interesting to
fun
see
that's
what's
a fun
coming.
subject too. Like I said, the fringes in science are really fun to get into. Is
Mm,
the supernatural real? Um, you know, science. Science is in the sense of there's a quote I'm trying to remember. Science is or magic is science we don't understand yet, or
I guess to some extent, yeah.
and there's a beauty
Or
to it,
the
honestly.
or the supernatural or magic.
Yeah, I mean, it's just things we don't truly understand yet. But who knows? In the future, maybe things that we thought were, myths and legends and, um, fringe science type stuff, could be proven or hello,
Raiden.
first in the chat. All right. So,
Anyways, dude.
I want you to tell us about this project that you have with Illusionist. I've seen the trailer. I'm definitely going to post a link to it. It's really awesome. Out of the box. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, it came as a surprise to myself, as they also talk about a little bit in the trailer. Um, Outside the box, just it kind of came out of nowhere because I had purchased Sonor by Valentin Donville when it came out, that like invisible glass thing.
Oh,
Because
yes, yep, that yeah, yeah, we were talking about that
I
last
thought it
time
was
too.
really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, and then I had a lot of fun with it. I got in contact with Valentin, and we've been talking a lot back and forth about different ideas and also things with Illusionist because he had gone through the same process that I just went through.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I posted a trick on my Instagram, just a handling that I did with it, which I thought was fun. And so I tagged Illusionist because it's a project by them, and they just so happened to find it. Like, I didn't submit any tricks to them. Yannick found my page by accident, or by accident. I did tag illusionist in that post, but I assume that they probably get a lot of tags, so pretty
Yeah.
lucky. Um, and so he contacted me, asked if I had any favorite tricks of mine or things that have made that I really like to perform. And I showed a bunch of the things I posted. And I also said for some of the things, this is not 100% original. It's just a handling that I particularly like of this thing or whatever the case may be. Like very old classic tricks, like linking rings. There's one trick in there like called de novo, which is linking keychains, which is just inspired by linking rings. That concept is not anything new or things things like that. The method, I haven't seen the method that I use anywhere else other than the method that I made for it, because it is impromptu. You just need the keychains. You don't need any gimmick keychains, which is nice. Um, but I have seen people do linking keychains once. I think Jay Sankey did a linking keychains, but it was with gimmick keychains and a different method.
Right.
But that was far, far back. But you
Now,
know, of
ungimmicked and
course,
impromptu is amazing.
I love
Like, that's
ungimmick.
so cool. Yeah. Yeah, there's just something about that. I mean, when you find that really good method to something that is impromptu and you can just pull out and do anywhere, that's the type of effect that you have for life. You know what I mean? And you can always pull that out. And there's those are some of my favorite magic tricks of everything I've ever learned are some of the impromptu type stuff.
Yeah, same. 'Cause I don't do that many gigs. I do gigs if someone asks or hires, but I don't like
Right.
go out and hand out flyers or whatnot, or make sure I build a huge network, because I mostly just like to create magic rather than perform it. But when I do perform, it's just so much nicer for me to like have things I can do on the fly. And like this magic that I own and the tricks I do own and have purchased are always things that are like everyday carry type things.
Right.
Like the stuff from outside the box, you'd also see that it's not things that are very impractical to bring with you. It's like easy things. Some of it don't even take up pocket space because it doesn't go in the pocket.
Right. Yeah, I'm sort of, that style of magic too, things that you can just besides the deck of cards, because that's uh
Yeah.
I mean, it's a prop for us magicians, and other people are like, why does that guy have a deck of cards? It's something I've always thought to myself, but I've always loved playing cards anyway. So people that know me, know, oh, that guy, he was carrying a deck of cards anyway.
Yeah.
Um but
Should I show you
you were you were
one of
you were
the
getting you were getting ahead because I wanted to ask you about your process of creating magic because that's really interesting. But I wanted you to kind of you've talked about the linking rings. Um, was there a certain effect or something that you saw that inspired you to kind of find that everyday carry effect?
well, when it comes to the linking rings, I'm not exactly sure because I made it when I was like 8 or something like that, and it's just
Oh,
been
really?
something I've had for a super long time. And I don't remember if I had the image that I wanna see how I can link keychains, or I just so happened to stumble
Have those
upon
around?
it just stumble upon something like, "Hey, this is pretty cool," and then play with it from there. Because I feel like that's very different from time to time. Like, I do have a trick I wanna show you, which
Okay.
I stumbled upon this method from Don Divine's channel, and since I've been building on it, seeing how can I make it like, in my opinion, how can I make it a better trick? Because of course,
Shout out
that's
to
different
Sean
from person to
Devine.
person.
I've been watching his channel since he first started. Amazing magician, amazing magic content creator. If you're not sub to Sean, you really should because that's actually some of the best tutorial and material you're gonna find out there for free.
It's really,
Period.
really good
For
material.
sure. Yeah.
But I was playing around with it. Do you wanna see it?
Yeah. Of course.
Let me
I'm
just get
I'm
some
dying to see it.
cards. And if I can do it to the best of my abilities, I would make a prediction under the table if I can. 'Cause, I've really been thinking about ways to like make this trick as good as I can. And had a lot of versions of it so far, but I think this is going to be one of my final versions to the trick. It's so difficult. I'm trying to close the card box right there. I'll leave that in view, right? Okay, where can I put it? I need enough camera space. I'm just gonna put it away so you
Okay.
also can see that I'm not touching it. And I want you to think of a number, like any
Okay.
number you like, as long as like we can count to the numbers, and maybe not something like 84 that would take a lot of counting,
Okay.
but whatever number you want. And I'll deal these out like this. And before you say what number you're on, let me just tell you that we're starting from this card. So, what number are you thinking of?
Okay. Is it 1 to 52?
Is whatever.
Let's do not too large. I'm gonna say let's do 21.
21. Are you 100% sure?
Yes.
You don't want to change your mind.
No, I'm feeling lucky.
You're feeling very lucky, or do you
I
want to
think
change
so.
your mind? It's completely up to you, of course. But this is the last chance. You want to change your mind, maybe one digit up, one digit down. It's completely up to you.
What if instead of 21 we reverse the digits and make it 12?
That's creative. We can do 12. So let me bring this back into view. And you sure you want to stick with 12?
Yeah.
All right, let me bring this into view. Right, you said 12. And like I told you, we would start from this card. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right here, that card, which is the Four of Hearts. And it could have been a lot of these other cards, but the Four of Hearts on the 12th position. Had you said 21, it would have been a different place. So
Definitely.
you could have stuck to that, but you didn't. And in this deck of cards here, what I did was that I took one card and I reversed it in the deck. One card reversed. And if you were here, you could check it out yourself, see that there were actually no other cards reversed, which is, of course, the stacked pair,
The doppelganger. Nice.
the mate for the card. I like this
That is
routine.
cool. That is
Yeah,
cool.
and the nice thing is it works with absolutely every number. Like it doesn't matter what you name, it's always going to work.
And the
So it's
interesting thing
scientific.
is, you said at the beginning, this is where we're going to start. There was no trickery, around that. You said that pre me choosing the number. That's amazing.
Yeah, because that is the number you start from. And no matter what,
Right.
this trick is going to work. And the thing I had to think about, because I don't assume I'll get in trouble for explaining Sean's method. Like, go check out Sean's video because he goes into much more depth than I will here. But essentially, with his version, you couldn't name numbers that end with a 1 or a 0. So, of course, 0 doesn't work, 1
Interesting.
doesn't work, and 10, 11, 12, 20, 21, 30, 31, they don't work. So the way he got around that is doing it with dice, like actually rolling 2 dice. And the odds that they land on, of course, they can't land on
Right.
1. And the odds of
Right.
them landing on 10 and 11 are not that big. And if it happens, he then like, which dice do you prefer the most? Which number do you prefer the most? So there's some equivocate there. But I really wanted to be able to have a completely free number named. And you can do that relatively easily, but it just then you have more setup. And like we talked about, doing things on the fly is something that means a lot to both me and you. So I have really
Definitely.
tried to think about how can I make this setup nice without any weird sleight of hand or talking out of place or just like long talking while thinking. Ugh. And I've found multiple ways to set it up and multiple ways to have the reveal done, but I feel like what I've got here is probably the most powerful one. Unless you name something like 20 or 21, that is less powerful, but it's all right. But the odds of that happening are still slim. Of course, you named 21 to begin with, so I tried to see if I could do something, and usually I would just do it as it is. Uh, but let me show you how I've got everything set up. So for starters, I need to know the top card, or I need to find the mate for the top card, which is a 9, a black 9. So I find the other black 9. Then I pick that. Next card, the 3 here doesn't matter, and the next one will be a black 8. So it's like every other card is the one you're looking for. And so you find that black 8. So card used, card not used, card used, card not used, and then a black 7. So every other card is the card that you're going to use, and you only need to find 3. So it's not like a huge setup, but this is essentially what you need. Just these 3 cards matching every other mate on the top. And so I just have to get these set up in certain positions of the deck where I find these reveals to be very nice. I'm just going to go through the one I did and then perhaps show some of the variations of it. So what
So
I've
even
got,
in an impromptu situation, you can be, having a conversation with someone and call those cards as you're spreading the deck, looking through.
yeah,
So that's easy setup.
but I found an even nicer setup for when I want to do it with like maximum cover, like when it doesn't look like anything is going on. And that's just incorporated into another trick. Like just pulling one of the say stop whenever you want. Okay, boom, you're thinking of a card. I'm gonna try to figure out what card you're thinking of. And then you give them the cards, they shuffle them, and you're like, you think you do your mentalism thing. Of course, it's just a simple, very, very simple. You thought of a card. I'm trying to figure out what it is. But while you're looking through the cards, I see a 3 here on top of like this one. No, not that one. And I just take them and put them on the bottom. I see the 8 of clubs here, so I gotta find my other 8. Maybe like speculating. I think your card might be a red card, and I find the other card. Could it be this? No, not that one. And you just find those 3 cards you need. I see I'm
So
missing the
essentially, you're setting up the next trick as you're performing the first effect.
exactly.
Right.
And so now I've got it set up, and I just say, okay, I think I might know what your card is. So I'm gonna find my last guess here. I think could it be a 2 of clubs or whatever it may be. Maybe you should even combine it with some of the more stronger effects where you have a card tabled and then you have them think of a card and you say, okay, you're thinking of a card, name any other card than the card you're thinking of. All right, okay, you named a black card. I think the card you're actually thinking of might then be a red card because they're opposite. And then at the end, the card you tabled is the card they named. And while you go through and look for the card, you might as well set this up. Like find those 3 mates.
Right.
But once you have it set up, the way I set up the prediction, because again, there's multiple ways. There's one where you don't have to do anything behind your back, but it's not as strong, in my opinion. But you count down 10 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are the cards you're going to lay on the table. Now you got to set up these 3 bottom predictions in the right places. So the middle one, of course, or you could say top, middle, bottom. That's how they're going to be laid out. So it's pretty easy to remember. The top one goes on top. The middle one goes reversed in the center. And the bottom
Okay.
one goes under the cellophane of the deck. I didn't take that one out from before. So I just put everything in the card case as is now and take out that bottom card and put it in the cellophane.
Gotcha.
Now it's going to seem like no matter what, there was only ever one prediction. Because when I
Now,
spread through the deck, there's only one card reversed. If I show the prediction here, there's only one card in the cellophane.
That's really cool because there's something that I learned that I do that's real similar, and it's so easy to set up, and it's exact same setup there, but it's just with the four aces. And it's kind of like a psychological force. You ask someone, hey, when you think of a deck of cards, most people they think of what, and they're gonna most of the time people say an ace, just because the aces are very popular. So right there, you're completely set up. Say, okay, ace, that's a great idea. No, but which suit? And you can pick any suit you want, and then you have the reveal of the card being in your pocket or reversed in the middle, or look, the card right on top, or just lift the deck up, card right at the bottom, or wherever, however you want to switch it up. But every reveal is right there, and it's pretty instantaneous because people more than likely are going to say ace, and if they don't, you move on to something else.
Yeah,
But it's
I
a
like that.
fast, quick hit. Yeah.
Yeah, also
But
because
this
it
this this is
seems like
cool
they
though.
had a
This is
free
cool
choice.
because this seems even more free
Yeah, so especially with
because
the
it's no
number.
limitations. Even though because that first question that makes them think they thought of it, but this seems even more free.
Yeah, and also because you can have this in view at all times. What I don't like though is some of the cleanup, but I've found some ways to clean it up. For example, if they don't end up with the card on the bottom when you dump everything out, you can just pull it
Just
from
pull.
under the
Yeah.
cellophane, which is fine, but gonna be reversed unless you reverse it right in the deck. But that's just preference. You can just reverse it and show the prediction right there. Wow, or reverse the cards in the deck. But like if they say 1 or 10 or 11 or any number that ends with 0 or 1, I would just say that I put one card on top of the deck, and then that would be the prediction. But let me show you the counting system once you have this set up. Because of course we dealt these down, so we want to reverse them. So just to make it look like a shuffle, but it's just reversing the order. Now the first card you put down will always be the one you start at, and that is your first prediction.
Right.
So that will work for number 1 or 10 or 11, 20, 21, and so on. So it's just that one extra prediction that will make every number work. And so you deal these out, continuing like so. Now let me reverse the predictions here so we can see them.
Easier to follow along. So it's every other card. Okay.
Yeah. Or at
Four
least for those
predictions
three.
for every other card. That makes sense. Okay.
I say we start here. So if you say 1, we're like, okay, so just this one card. If they say 2, I say we start here and we go 1, 2. If we say 3, I say we start here. So we go 1, 2,
One, two,
3.
three.
We go 4, when of course it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, what? Sorry, 1, 2, 3,
Go
4.
four.
And so if you're thinking of, or if they name a equal number, you want to just count as is. If they say a odd number, you want to count this one in, and then it will work. And if it's below 5, you count counterclockwise. If it's 6 or above, you count clockwise.
Ah,
Of course, if you hit something like 12, that is above 6, but I just think of the last number. So we
the
ignore like
concept
the
reminds me of the mental die, in a sort of speak, that how it's kind of like the way it's set up, it's forced, and you just know which option where to go
oh
from
yeah,
there.
that's true.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just nice because if you just say something like 11, I know it's gonna be here.
Next gen
It
spawn. What up?
but
That's
there's
so cool. I'm gonna end up using that. That's really awesome.
and the nice thing is you don't have to remember what prediction you gotta bring out because these are already set like top, middle, bottom. So if you know
Right.
you end in the bottom half, well, you know that the prediction is gonna be this one. Middle, the one reversed. Top is the top of the deck. So no matter
That's
what,
awesome.
you're gonna be good with that.
You're gonna hit either way, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I also liked the ease of setup not having this prediction in. But then there's just like if they name a sucky number, it sucks because I do want it to be completely free.
So no matter like let's say if they said 36, right? You would know because it's ending in 6 to count count it counterclockwise, correct?
I know it would be this one,
Okay.
but that's just some memory work. I know
Right.
0 and 1 will be this one. 2,
Okay.
3 will be that one. Um, 4,
Right.
5
Whatever
will be
the
that
first
one.
digit is doesn't matter. It's whatever it's ending in, right?
Yeah, whatever number it's
Okay.
ending in. So if it ends with
Gotcha.
like 4, 24, I know that it will be this one.
This right that way. Gotcha.
Because you just
That
gotta
is
think
pretty
about the
cool.
last one, and then you can sort of
It's
easily
it's
figure
pretty
out.
easy to remember, yeah. No matter what number they pick, you kind of already know exactly where you're going with it.
It is indeed a Chainsaw Man shirt. You see the back of it though. That's the cool part. Look at this thing.
Oh shit. Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's essentially the main concept, though. But for the cleanup, if they don't hit the center one, this is what I do. Like it's very kind of whack in a sense, but it works and gives you good justification to go through the deck and look for the reversed one. So let's say that was the prediction, though this was actually the middle prediction that
Right.
was reversed, right? But let's say they don't end with that prediction. Let's say like you could pick any one of these other cards here, and you ended up with this one, and I just shuffle it in, and like, oh wait, I wasn't supposed to shuffle these, and then you can go look through and reverse the ones that are reversed, and it's gonna seem completely justified. It's not nice, but you can also just go through and reverse it. It's not the end of the world to do that. But
Um,
if I should be in that situation, that works fine.
I think also if you call the cards at at a good angle, you might be able to call them and then just pass them, do a pass once they get all collected.
Yeah, like it's not a horrible thing
It'd
to
be an
get
angle
rid of.
sensitive thing, but yeah, it's not too bad. There's also the one of the methods that I like is the oops method.
Oh yeah,
Drop the
just dropping
cards.
one.
Just drop. Oh, Butterfingers. No, but seriously, think about that. When you drop the cards, drop them slightly, angled at a corner. They're gonna go flying. Some are gonna be reversed. Nobody's gonna question that
No,
whatsoever.
I did a trick on my channel where like I did something similar, but it's like I had to pick up some cards and I needed to put the bottom one on the top. It's like one ahead principle. So when I picked them
Yeah,
up, I would just do something like this
very
instead
easy,
of
but
having
it's so
instead of having
simple.
to
It
do like
works.
a little.
A tiny pass.
Yeah,
Yeah, those one card passes can be a pain in the ass sometimes.
yeah. Do you want to see one of the or two of the other methods that I had thought of,
Yeah,
or for like setting up a prediction? I'm not gonna
show me.
set everything up, but you can imagine if you have them on the bottom of the deck and you've got it set up, you take your cards out and you tell the spectator, well, you got to get one card from the bottom to the top, and you can just do a double undercut or whatever the case may be to
Right.
bring that bottom card to the top. So you've got one prediction on top, the other two on bottom, and you would just have the spectator cut the cards wherever and just do a crosscut force. The
It's
odds of them
brilliant.
hitting this one are low because that's only if the number ends with a 0 or a 1. So you got great odds of being able to just show that, and they cut to the prediction too, or just turn this around and show this. And what I like about that is you can set up the cards very easily, go through and be like, not that one. No. And be like, I'm not sure how to make my prediction. Maybe you should make the prediction. They just cut a number of cards down and they do that. You mark it there and like, okay, good. We'll put that aside. And then you go through the number thing. They name a number, you count to the number. There's a card at the number, and then you just reveal that they cut to the exact prediction. And if they just so happen to name a number that ends with 0 or 1, just do one of these where you take this out. It's not as nice. It's far from as nice, but you can just pick this up, drag out that bottom one, but you just pushing one aside.
Right.
But again, the odds of that happening are low, so I still think it's a all right thing. Plus, you end very clean with no cleanup, and they cut to the prediction. But you still have like a double out, so it could seem like there was multiple predictions. But maybe I'm
Right, and
just
if it
thinking
was the
about
other
it too
pile, you
much.
could just do a double lift also.
Yeah.
Um,
And the
I
final
think I
version
think
of
the
it I
cost
had.
cut force is very underrated. I think people think it's a beginner thing, but it's really not, especially when you're doing it in person. And during the action of the night, let's say you perform a couple things and just like you said, just have them cut the cards. Do it. The time misdirection is very important. It doesn't have to be that long. It
No,
really
it really
doesn't. You don't
doesn't.
have to drone on about it. Just make eye contact. Have have some type of communication with them, and instantly go to it, and it always works.
With patter, it is flawless. That is true. You just like cut
Yep.
the cards. It's like, okay, right. You could cut those cards anywhere you wanted, and do like whatever the thing you may want to be is to saying we're gonna use this as a prediction and whatnot. Like already, I've talked enough to the point where it
I've
doesn't
I've
matter anymore.
uh, I've been playing around with the idea or concept of forcing people to actually cut uh, to the card that I want them to.
Ooh,
Uh, which they're literally it's a little risky, but what fun what fun is this if it's not risky, right? I mean, um, like let's say for example, so you almost had a oops moment there. Uh, let's say if I wanted them, a lot of times you tell somebody to think of a number or even a card, and they're going to say a seven, right? And say, go ahead, just cut to a seven there. Let's say they cut exactly two tens. Look at that. Let's say they cut the cards. I forgot about this puppy here. Oh look, here it is, seven. Uh, but just that concept there. See if I can do it again. We got what was that? A red seven. Let's see if we can get a red seven. There we go. This time it's a heart. But that idea, it's I mean, you see people do it with the like help me out here, the breather crimp.
all right.
So
Yep.
I've seen people do it with the breather crimp. The problem with the breather crimp, though, it is visible from the sides of the deck.
True.
But like you see here, there's nothing visible. It's just completely flat.
I mean, that also depends because I've got a crimp in this one.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you beat on your decks a little bit, but I mean, if I cut the cards, cut right back to that 10, you can actually see. Oh, look at that, cut right back to the 7 again. But you can cut to the same cards over and over without. And I'm not really trying. I'm just picking up. Just say, just go lightly pick up some cards, and you're gonna cut to the same card. Um, I don't know if I want to give this one away because it's good. It's really good, and it doesn't impede with anything else that you got going on. And there's so many things you can use it for.
I mean, I don't know
Um,
of it. If it's not a crimp, then of course
it's
I've
not a
seen people
crimp.
do it with like a piece of salt or sand or something like that. But I don't know if
Yeah,
it's that.
but it's not that because that's great if you're like out to dinner or something like that. But if you need something that you know is going to work every time, no matter what,
Yeah.
we will talk about this not on the live, but I'll tell you, it's awesome. I'm a big fan of it. I've been playing around with the concept for a while, and there's a lot of stuff you can do.
There is. I mean, of course, I don't know that specific thing, but crimps
Not a
alone, there's a
Svengali, my
lot of
man.
things you can do.
You can't do that with a Svengali. But no, it's all the cards are different. You see, you got
Is
all.
it the new Savant deck?
No, it's not. Um, no, regular deck of cards. There's multiple ways to do it. You can. I don't want to say too much. I will. I'm going to get with you on this one because I feel like you being a magic creator will come up with some really cool ideas with this.
Thank you.
Speaking of that, that's one of my questions that I wanted to lead into a little bit more heavy. What does it feel like? being a magic creator now that you have your product out? And what is your process in discovering new methods and creating magic?
Well, it kind of feels surreal to have my own project out. That's because like I've known illusionists since I was very small. Like they when did they start illusionist? Was it like
Oh two, I think, maybe oh three, somewhere on there.
I think so, because I was too. So it makes sense that
Oh,
I've
there you
known them since I was pretty small, although I only started magic till I was like 6, but I've known them for a while and I've also got stuff from their website. So it was very weird to have them reach out to me asking if I wanted to do something with them. Well, weird in a good way, but it's still surreal to go on the website and like there's new releases and I see my own name there. That's not something I think I'll ever get used to. But it's really cool. But honestly, I haven't felt much different besides that. Having a thing out still like feel the same as usual. But it is really nice to have my own thing out. And I hope that there can
go.
be other things in the future. 'Cause I know that we will be doing one other thing, at least so they told me, because we did shoot another thing when we were there. It's just a matter of when and how are we gonna do it. But it seems like we're gonna have another thing. But when
Yeah,
it
I look
comes to
forward to
like,
it.
yeah, thank you. What was the other question? Like magic process?
What is your process in creating magic? Like, how do you see your process? Like, I've actually just came up with a variation of. Are you familiar with Pitt Hartling?
Yeah,
Yeah. Are you familiar with his trick, the core?
not particularly.
Okay, so uh, basically, his whole thing is you have somebody name a card randomly, and you sort of up jog the cards like this, right? And you just go through the entire deck, and you end up separating the cards into different sections. And by the time you separate all the cards, you end up with one card, and that being the card the spectator merely thought of. It's pretty amazing.
That sounds really
However,
cool.
it is actually really cool. I think we talked about this, but
Maybe I don't remember it, but maybe we
no.
did.
Um, there are some things that are required brain power wise,
Hmm,
and I wanted to see if there was a way I could eliminate that, but still keep the feeling of a thought of card. And I came up by like smashing like three methods together, something really cool that's kind of like his effect, but in a way, it's its own thing.
oh, that sounds cool. What's
It
like the
is pretty cool.
main premise of the your version of it? How do you go through it? I'm like not
Okay.
explaining the method, but
Well, yeah,
what?
I don't have to. I mean, this is something I'm probably going to end up teaching on the channel because it's not his method at all. I don't go into how he does what he does, but I mean, the process of an anti-pharaoh, anybody can do that, but he actually explains how it works. I'm not going to go into that, but it does work like that, but it's without. His whole process is amazing because it's just instantly thought of the card. He does it, and it's there. It is. Boom. It's the core. Check it out. Definitely worth purchasing because just that concept is amazing. And so in this version, you have someone pick up a small packet of cards, less than half, and we're going to keep the rest of the deck over here. Of course, everything can be shuffled ahead of time. After time doesn't matter. They're going to secretly count how many cards they cut off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 cards. So at this point, I'm going to go through and you're going to remember the 11th card. I'm going to flash the cards at you like this, and you're going to remember the 11th card. Okay. So there's, uh, no, I'm not going to count. Now, I don't know at this point because you're the one cutting off the cards. I don't know what number you're thinking of, and I most certainly don't know what card it is that you're thinking of. So at this point, I just take the cards, put them back on top, and then I give the cards a shuffle. Now, there are, let me see, there are a couple of things that um, I think because of what I was talking about earlier, it's probably not gonna work because I got some extra stuff here. But so at this point, you would go ahead and do the anti-pharaoh, and you would separate the cards. And hopefully, you did think of a card.
I did, yes.
Okay. Like I said, it might not work because it has to be exact. It's one of those effects that works with exactly 52. So if
Ah,
you have any jokers or anything else, which I think I saw a joker in this deck earlier, it does work. So you anti-pharaoh the cards, separate the cards, and then that's all you just keep anti-pharaoh in the cards until you're left with two cards. And then my preferred method of ending is complete free choice for the spectator. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure if it's going to work here because I got something else, but I don't know, maybe you'll be able to help me out here at the end. And just uh, keep anti-pharaoh in the cards until you're left with two cards, right? Now, uh, the card you're thinking of, was it a black card or red card?
it was a black card.
It's a black card. I don't know if this worked at all. Uh, it probably didn't because I told you I have, I think, let me see, oh, see, I got jokers in here. I think I have two of them in here. Two cards. But the whole thing, just to explain the effect here, you would have two cards at the end, and then they would have a free choice as to choosing one of those cards. And I would say something along the lines of push one of these cards to me. Let's say you push this card to me, you get rid of it, and you're left with one card. What was the card you're thinking of?
The 10 of clubs.
Ten of clubs. Damn, got half of it
Half of it right.
right.
50% correct.
50% correct. And half of 10 is five. Uh, but yeah, it would work. I've road tested it plenty of times. Like I said, I might be able to try it one more time without. Well, it's a long process. I'm not going to bother with it, but I'm going to
Wouldn't
probably put up
wouldn't
a
you in
tutorial
theory
for
be
it.
able to deal two piles instead
Yeah.
of
The only reason I like this, the way that this is done with anti-farrowing, is because it can be done standing if you don't have a
ah,
table. So if you would like to deal two piles, there's one little thing you would have to keep in mind. Um, but beyond that, you could do it, and that's one of the things I would have taught. And then there's, you could change the ending up a little bit too. You could just add literally anti-pharaoh until you have those two cards left, and then reveal that there's just one card. Boom, your card. But I like kind of like that free choice ending. Feel like that works well.
I do too. It's always nice to have like which one do you want? Like it reminds me of a couple of tricks in a book by John Bannon. I don't know if you know the book Mentalissimo.
Not no, not that one, but I know John Mannon, Dear Mr. Fantasy. Um, yeah, I'm familiar with his work. Actually, that's
It's got
Sean Devine's a big fan of his.
oh, well, he does have a lot of incredible impromptu card tricks,
Yeah,
and I really, really love them. I The first one I saw in the trailer for the book. I mean, I don't know if it's really a trailer for the book. It's just one of the tricks in the book called AK-47. It fooled me so bad the first time I saw it. After a couple of watches, I did eventually get around to being through the method. But oh man, I figured if there's more of this in that book, I'm getting that book, and there has been more of that in that book.
Yeah. It, I wish you would do a reprint of Dear Mr. Fantasy because that one's been I think that's if I'm mistaken one of his first books. But I really wanted to get that. But I like physical copies. I have it, digital copy of it.
Oh,
Um, but I like obviously still his books back there. I like the physical books. Um,
same. I have like one digital book from Pitt Hartling, like
I
card
have
fictions, I think.
what do you know?
There it is. I'm
Yeah,
missing
I've got
I'm
his In
missing one
Order to
trick in
Amaze
it.
also.
What?
You're missing one trick?
Well, I'm not missing it. I just haven't read it yet. It's like the
Oh,
super
okay.
memory thing.
He's got a lot of amazing stuff in this book.
He does. Like I think we talked about it in the last live stream we did. Like he had the finger flicker routine, which
Yeah.
I did a routine with that is not finger flicker particular, but like it's not in any card at any number, but it's like falls close to that category of like instead of saying I'm gonna pick like instead of saying you have to pick a card, I will pick a card, and then you have to find the card. So I would pick maybe like that card, and then we lose it in the deck, do all kinds of shuffles or whatnot. Of course, false shuffles, but you do
Yeah.
O's cut or whatever the thing you want to do is, and then the spectator has to find it. So you tell them, put your finger here and try and flick the cards, and then they do so, and you're like, that's not my card. And then you can say, okay, maybe how many cards that you flip off, and then flip off, and then there was like 15 cards, and you count 15 cards further down, and the card is in that position. It's just a variation.
Okay. That's interesting. I didn't think about doing like that. Yeah.
I can try and do it, but I just gotta take 15 cards and put it on the top first, and I got 15 here, and they're on the top, so I'm all set up now. And
Now,
I
if you
would,
can force the number first, that would be interesting too, right?
I guess, I mean, I'm forcing the number with the flick. 'Cause the way I'm doing it
Okay.
is like I'm gonna pick a card, and I have my crimp marked, so I count 15 cards down from there, and I gotta do it right. Where did it go? All right, there it is. And I would pick the 7 of spades. And I would tell the spectator, this is the card you have to find. So dump that in the deck, and they have to find that card, or at least do their best to. And so I give them the cards, or put them on the table, put them at an angle, and say, try and just flick the cards. And they flick the cards there. And I say, yep, that's not the card. This is not the card either. What in the world went wrong? And I start thinking about it. Oh, maybe you're a little bit more, maybe you're one step ahead of me. And then I go into maybe there's this category of magic that we call the Holy Grail, which is called any card at any number. I figure maybe you're trying to do something like that without even noticing it. So how many cards did you flick off? And I have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 cards, right? You just flicked those off. You could have flicked more, you could have flicked less. We thought you failed. Let's hope you didn't, because that was 15 cards right there. Let's take these and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And the card is then at that position.
So you're using the finger flick to force the number 15 in the beginning.
Yeah, just and they flick off the exact number of cards, and then they count those numbers, and that will be the force number.
Interesting.
And here's the thing, the cool thing is if it fails, for example, if they do that, I know for a fact that this is not my crimp. How do I get out of that situation? Well, I gotta remember that the goal of the flick was to try to flick to the card. If we look at that one, like that's not the card. Maybe it's this one. That's not it either. Maybe maybe try again. You didn't hit it exactly, but you're not a magician. Maybe you'll be a magician if you do it now and they do it again. I can see this as my crimp, so I just square it up here. So even if they're really bad at it, I can be like, that wasn't it, and pretend like it was supposed to be it. And then if it fails again, like, man, it doesn't get there. Why can't you cut to the card? And then because like it's very, very difficult not to hit the crimp. So the odds of that happening are slim because it's so difficult not to hit the crimp. But if they don't hit the crimp, I would just pretend like it was supposed to cut to the card. And when it then cuts to the crimp, still is wrong. And then I go into, oh, maybe it's different, and then count the cards and count down, and then it would be at that position. And
Hmm.
that's just a fun routine if you have a crimp in the deck. Also, I made the crimp the Queen of Hearts because it's so commonly named. It's like
Yeah,
if I do another routine where they have to name a card and be like the Queen of Hearts.
I actually have a Queen of Hearts in my wallet. Oh no, they're all brand new again.
What?
Um, I'm gonna be teaching that soon too.
Nice.
So simple. You hate it when that happens.
Yeah, annoying.
Tell me about it. Oh shit! Look, now you're not alone, buddy. Chopping carts all day over here. Something I always heard: you're not really using your cards if you don't drop them.
Do you do any
No,
cardistry moves?
not really. Besides like real basic stuff, but not not a lot of cardistry. Let's see if let me see something. I'm wondering if I can see. I don't know if that worked. Okay, interesting. 10 of clubs.
I dropped a
Very
card on the
interesting. I
floor and it just turned invisible. That's a trick in itself.
Yeah, I dropped one and I saw it went far and I was like, it went too far. Not gonna bother. No, I was just wondering if what I was telling you about earlier, uh if I can use it as a finger flick. I might be able to.
Finger
Let's see.
flick is a really nice way to force a number of cards.
It seems to
Or
work. 10 of diamonds. Well, let's see.
and if they don't hit it, you can be if you're wanting to use it as a force, because like for me, doing it again if it fails
Okay.
is
10 of
nicely
diamonds. I
justified
can
in that routine. Oh,
hit.
you it works?
Yeah, it seems to work. Let's see. I'm gonna try it one more time. 10 of diamonds. Seven spades. 10 of diamonds. So I'm getting somewhere with this. It's cutting to the same spot every time. 7 of clubs. 10 of diamonds. 7 of clubs again. So it seems to work with it. Yeah, I got to play around with
And I guess if it fails the first time, you could be like, all right, you get the gist of it. Let's try.
that. I want to see if I. Let's see here. I didn't even flick it that time hard enough.
I really hate having to do things like that. Like if it fails, like, all right, you know how it works now. Now let's do it for real.
Seems to work.
You want to hear
Yeah, I'm
something really cool?
always.
I found a really cool necklace. And the cool thing is you could get it engraved. So I'm gonna have
Okay.
like these 7 of diamonds engraved on the back, and you can do things with like digital force bag or just force a card. Um, and then just have them hold on to the necklace. Like I take it off, give it to them, and then they maybe name a number and digital force back that number. It's very simple, but I actually wanted to have 2 engravings on a necklace, but I could only get 1 engraving, so I figured I could have more uses of the card rather than this number. 'Cause this would be so cool to have on, like, the back of the emblem of the necklace, and then maybe on the lock, you could have the card. Do you know of
Huh.
this routine?
No, it doesn't look familiar to me.
Oh, you're gonna love it. It's probably one of my favorite tricks, and I wish it was the trick that I had come up with. But you find cards from 1 to 9, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, saw 6 over here, 6, 7, 8, and 9. That's all the cards you need. Now the thing is, you're gonna choose the order of these in a way, because you can either say, "Put 1 down," and I'll put 1 card down. Or you can say, "Switch," and I will switch the 2 cards and put them down. As you can see, that changes the order of the cards. So you can say, "Put down," or you can say, "Switch." You can say, "Put down," or you can say, "Switch." If you choose to say, like, "Switch" all the time, and there only is 1 card left, of course, we can't switch it with anything, so that has to be a put down. That's essentially the only rule. If there's 1 card left, and it can't be swapped with anything. So, what's the first thing gonna be, switch or put down?
Let's go with a switch.
A switch.
Put down.
And the next one, put down.
Put down. Switch. Put down. Switch.
Okay, pretty fair. So far, do you wanna do it again, or are you happy with it as it is?
I'm happy with it as it is, and this is bothering me because I swear I've seen this before and I can't remember where.
Well, you probably already know where it's going, which is that I can spread out these cards, and they have a certain order called 8, 7, 6. Oh, wait, I'm reading it upside down. 8, 7, 9, 6, 5, 2, 4, 1, and 3, or ace. And the order in the card case is exactly 8, 7, 9, 6, 5, 2, 4, 1, 3.
That's crazy.
I love that routine so much.
Now, I'm thinking that could be a great like serial number reveal, or
It
there's like
is.
a
You
lot
can
of
do
things
it
you can
with
do with
a
it.
you can do it with a phone number. Like you end up with a phone number, like call it, call the phone number, and then your own phone rings. Like, oh, hold on, gotta get this. You could do
That's
a
pretty
lot of
cool.
things with that. It's just a great way to also just force a large number.
I'm thinking toxic.
Yeah. Or maybe
uh,
do a toxic force on a calculator and doing this routine, and then you get a matching
two,
numbers.
exactly.
But it would be so cool to have on like a necklace or something. Just a bunch of random numbers, and like you don't even see it, and then you
Like on
have
the
to
back
hold
of the
on to that
necklace where the
necklace.
clamp is, or something along those lines,
Exactly.
right?
Because I had thought about having it like, of course, this is not the necklace, but having it on the back of the necklace, and then also one where the lock is. But where the lock would be, it would be maybe like just a card, because you could have these cards laid out and do like a timing force or equivocate to get them to choose one of those 9 cards in particularly. So one
Right.
thing, you get the order right, and they chose one of the cards, and that card is also written on the back like they were like the 7 of diamonds.
That's interesting. I'm gonna have to learn
Yeah.
that.
The routine there,
Yeah, I really like it.
I can teach you now.
Now,
It's
the thing is, Was this also taught on Sean's channel? Because I'm literally vividly remembering.
I don't know where it was taught. It's been one of those things that's been in my repertoires for literal years and years and years and years. It's something I've been doing
It's
for a
it's
very,
the
very
it's
long
the
time.
it's the motion of put down or switch that I'm remembering.
Well, I usually always take out 1 to 9 cards in order because I don't wanna set it up, like, in a way already. I wanna have it set up in the process of doing so, so everything is just nice and practical the way it's supposed to be. So I just take
Right.
out the cards, and as I explain the rules, I set it up in the order. So I say you can put 1 down, or you can say switch, and the way I switch them, I used to just do this and put it down, but the magician Antonio Bourgeois, he told me that this looks a lot more convincing, which it does. It looks so much more convincing. And so you put it down. And when you turn it face up, it does actually change the order versus when it's face down, it doesn't do shit. So I say I put down, swap, put down, swap, put down, and swap. So the first time I show it, I just alternate between put down, swap, put down, swap, put down,
So
swap.
basically, in a nutshell, what I'm gathering from this is you have after you pull it out 1 to 9, you shuffle them into that order, and then as you're in the motion of you have, let's say you have the cards here and you say swap, but as you're putting it down, they remain in the same order.
Yeah, only when you do it face down, they
Down, right.
remain in the same order. If you do it face up, they actually do swap places. But so the first
Interesting.
time I do it alternating, and the second time I just only do switches. So I would say switch and switch and switch. And I say the more you switch, the more chaotic everything will be. If there's one left, we can't switch it. And with those 2 rounds, the cards are in the exact order that I've written down under the card case. And from here on out, it does not matter what they say because you're doing it face down. You could see if I take these 2 cards, put 1 down and 1 on top. This second one ends on top of it, right? If we
Yeah.
swap, the second one ends on top of it. So it really doesn't matter if it's swap or put down. It does the same thing. So if you say
Yeah.
swap, what you can do is like extend the swap pair out. So they do there, extend that one out,
Oh, that's
extend this one
interesting. Yeah.
out. And then you can spread them out and you can say you chose to switch these exact 3 places. And that's just a
That's good.
fun
That's
thing to.
visual.
Yeah, like you chose to swap exactly at these places. You could have swapped these cards or these 2 around, but you chose to switch exactly here. Are you happy with this or do you want to do it one more time? Because of course the cards are just being reversed. It's the same as just dealing them down. That's essentially what you're doing. It's just reversing the order with all the swaps and dealing down. Doesn't do anything. They're still in the same order. And so
Right.
no matter what, it will match. But I know when I have a 3 on the bottom, I can spread them out like this. Because if they do choose to do it one more time, of course the cards are going to be reversed. They're not going to be in this order. They're going to be reversed to that order. So how do you get about that? Well, I just deal them down one at a time and show that this was the order that we were in.
That is a cool concept. There's like so many ideas that are running through my head right now.
It is a really, really cool concept. It's one of those things that I just write in the top of my card case and I have that ready anytime, anywhere. And it is such a killer effect.
That is dope. I gotta play with that.
It is fun.
That is really, really cool. What is uh what is your go-to effect when you walk up to someone and you want to do something quick for them? Uh and go-to meaning like impromptu with any deck, for example.
Well, if I want to do something like just out of the blue, I actually don't even use cards necessarily if I don't have any on me, which is rare. But if I want to do just some tricks, or if someone asks, a go-to for me would honestly just be to use digital force back for something.
Okay.
Is such a powerful tool. And I just think I would borrow their phone, maybe find an image, and then be like, okay, I got a list on my phone of these 100 different things. Just name any number you like. Okay, 37. Let's check my list here. 37. What does that say? Says, okay, it says Michael Jackson. Well, go ahead and unlock your phone, and then there's a picture of Michael Jackson. That is
The
incredibly
power
simple.
of the force is so it's amazing. What about well, I was going to ask you what is your favorite force, but I think we'll leave that one for off the life. There's so many good ones. Something I've been playing around with too is let's say, for example, let's do this here. Let's see if I have this right.
I've been trying to learn the squoze cut, and it's so difficult to get it up to speed, or to at least make it look fluid.
All right, let me make sure I set this up right. So let's say I was trying to force a particular number 1 to 10, and I ask you to uh, choose choose a number between 1 and 10. Anything you like. Let me get something to write down. Go ahead. Give me a number between
Too
one and
much
ten.
to want to keep practicing. I feel you. I should name a number from 1 to 10.
Yeah.
How about 3?
3.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Would you like to change your mind?
No.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Meaning that you arrived at 1 card, and I think we did pretty good. I said you would arrive at 6, and you arrived at a 6.
Ooh,
It's
that's
it's
really
really
nice.
simple. It's really simple, but I think the little touch on it that I did. Um, so you're gonna get a 6 no matter what. Now there is the off chance that they would just say 6, and that's perfect. Boom, just turn it around. Mind-boggling. So let's say they said, and it's actually along the exact same lines of as you were doing with the circle of 10 cards.
Hmm,
Let's say they say 1, deal down 1 card. We got rid of 1 card. You ended up at a
I'm a
6.
6.
2, 1, 2. Ended up at a 6. 3. Same thing. It's every other card except for the 6th position. Because obviously if they say 6, then you're already in the pocket there. So um, so just to humor you, say any other number.
8.
8, perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You landed at a 6. So it's
So you
between
have
1
it
and 10.
every other
You'll
card.
you'll It's almost every other card. So the setup goes like this, and let me just show you. It's almost every other card. You have any card, a 6. Any card, a 6. Any card, any card at the 6th position. Any card for 7. So you can have 3 any cards and then another 6. So you're still using the you're still using all 10 cards, but you're just because you want them to say 6 anyway. Why would you waste the space uh, for there? If they just say 6, boom, you're instantly in.
That's really
But it feels like a free choice.
it does. It does feel like a free choice.
Yeah.
So like random card 5, random card
Right.
5, random card, random card,
Yes.
random card. And those are the 10 cards. That is so weird, but I love it. So what if
I
you
don't know.
name a number now? Do I
I
know how to
came up
do
with
it
that the
now?
other day, and I was because actually while I was creating that effect that I was telling you about with the cards, and like you said, you can deal with cards into 2 piles, whatever, however you want to play it. I was thinking because how it actually works is every single time, no matter what, the thought of card is going to end up in a position in the deck, exact same position every single time.
What if you did this as like a multiple outs thing? Because you already have sort of control over all the cards. Um, you could, because if you just know the value, you could already get pretty far. If
Right.
you say think of a number between 1 to 10, or because of course
Right.
you know it's going to be a 6.
Yeah.
So let's say try and name a number.
Uh, 4.
Or I got to figure out how to do this now. That would be
No, you
1,
got it.
2, 3, 4.
That's it.
And I'll be like, I look away, you're going to look at that one.
Yep.
And I'm hoping this is a 6. Oh, a 5. Yeah, right, a
Or
5.
5, right. Yeah.
I would put that down. Well, I guess I could have you do that, like count down your number. Um, Look at the card. I'm not gonna look now. Shuffle everything back into the deck, and now you know the value of the card. And so you could do something like this, where you say, "I'm gonna try to figure out what card you're thinking of. I'm not sure I can get it 100%, but I'm gonna try." And you say you put down a card. Say, like I said, I'm not sure I can get it perfect, but you weren't thinking of a black card, were you? And then they answer, and you say, "All right, well, so far so good." They say, "Okay, try and find your card." And they go through and they find the card, like right there. All right, so I didn't get it 100%, but like I told you, I don't think I could get any closer to your card than what I got, and I really don't think I could have gotten any closer.
Yeah.
And so if like when you place it down and you ask, you didn't think of a black card, did you? And if they say no, I thought of a red card. Well, then you just go, well,
Then
so
you
far so
already
good.
know. Yeah.
You're like, so far so good. I want you to try and pick up the cards. Actually, wait, I think I can get a little bit closer. There.
And you already know.
Yeah, and you just swapped it for one of these black cards or
You know
red
what I
cards,
was
depending
actually
on it.
thinking of because I was thinking of playing off of 2 spectators, and you do this force to get someone to pick the number 6. Um, let me go through that version with you. Let me take out this Joker so I won't mess myself up this time. But so it actually kills um, the routine. But what the idea was to force a number. So um, let's say they cut off a certain amount of cards, right? And it doesn't really matter, but for reasons here, because you're not here, I have to count them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 again, that's weird. Or let's change it up. 11, 12, 13, let's do 14. Just to make sure, I'm not cheating here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So let's say they cut off whatever amount of cards. You then are going to go through the cards and they're going to remember the 14th card. I'm really not going to look. So one, and I ask, do you have a card by this point? You're thinking of a card already? Okay.
Yep.
Take the cards, return them here, and then we'll give them a little bit of a shuffle. Oops. Make sure the shuffle nice and thorough. And then at this point, um, this is where I was kind of getting stuck. Uh, that card that you're thinking of is always going to end up at one particular position now. It's going to end up at 33,
Hmm.
which is pretty cool. But so now I was thinking, how do I force that card? Well, I was like, well, I know how to force the number 27. So if I have someone choose 6, uh, and then I forced number 27. Hey, whatever value that card was that you got earlier, whisper it to their ear. They're going to add it to the number that they just thought of. So then you get 33.
Yeah,
So what
that's a
was the
good way
card you're
of putting
thinking
it.
of? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, and 33. What was it? Uh-oh. I think you froze.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I believe it was the 5 of diamonds, unless I miscounted, but I noticed you did that.
Bingo, bango.
5 of diamonds.
Yeah.
Am I frozen?
So
I'm frozen on my screen.
yeah, your screen's blacked out.
Ah, that's great. This someone called me and now
Oh no.
oh no no no. Wonder if I
I
can
can
flip the
stay
camera.
live, and you can exit the live and then come back. I think.
It's not working now?
No.
Ah, because I flipped the camera and then I flipped it back and now it looks fine for me. But if it doesn't look fine for you, I guess it doesn't work.
No, nothing. Okay.
I can try and leave the live and then come back.
All right. Let's try it.
All right. Boop.
All right. Mads has left the building, so to speak. Hopefully, he'll be back soon. And let's see. You are. Oh, there we go. I was about to say. I was like, you're back in black. Um. So yeah, that's. I don't know if you caught what I did, but there's no like counting or anything like that, and it just always ends up in that position, and you're able to track it. So it's pretty cool effect. And I was thinking of ways to reveal that card, which the anti-pharaoh, or dealing to 2 cards all the way down until you get to one single card, is one way I thought that actually works for that number specifically. But then I thought of ways to force that number, which is where I came up with that 6 force.
Yeah.
Um,
'Cause I think the 6 force would be better at having 2 spectators because it is very cool that you can anti-pharaoh down to 1 card and then that is the card. That feels impossible.
yeah, that's
But
that's what I
how
liked about it.
but I wonder from a spectator's point of view, would they find it to be a fun process to go down to 1 card? Because as
That's
a
where your pattern.
magician,
That's where your pattern, as a magician, your pattern has to be on point. You have to be able to engage with them and see. Pitt Hartling, it's in his book. In Order to Amaze, which is his other book, not Card Fictions, that he actually has the trick to core, and he has a whole different process where it's literally any card named. He anti-pharaohs it to one single card. It's your card. It's
That
really, really
sounds
amazing.
nuts.
You got to check it out, bro. But this way also feels pretty good because there's no way, that I know the number of how many cards you picked up to a spectator. I'm also not looking at the cards as I'm dealing them down. Do you got one yet? I don't know what number you're thinking of. I don't know what card you saw you're thinking of. And it still
That
ends up
that
at
is
that card.
that's
But
kind of crazy.
to take it and turn it into like an A can would be a pretty cool thing that I was trying to think of. That was clean, by the way.
Do you want to see a really cool thought of card effect from that John Bannon
Yes,
book?
most
So
certainly.
go ahead and just think of a card. Absolute cinema.
Okay, should I switch up from what I'm always thinking of?
If you want to.
Okay. Uh,
Eh,
do you want me to tell you?
No, keep it secret
Okay,
for now.
got it.
So completely hidden. Now, of course, my job is to try to get as close to your card as I can. So I'm gonna try to do exactly that.
Okay,
Okay, let me
I'm
try.
intrigued.
Yeah, yeah. I think this is it. I don't think I can get any closer to your card than these two.
Okay.
So, what is the card you were thinking of?
The card I was thinking of was the Ten of Hearts.
The Ten of Hearts, which is, of course, right here. And you may be wondering, what in the world? Why did I not get the Ten of Hearts? Let me tell you
No.
how I got so close. I got the Five of Hearts, which is exactly half of your card.
Oh, good
50%
throwback.
correct.
Fifty
And
percent
I took
correct.
a 9 because I figured maybe like I got close because like if you take the value of this and the suit of this, it becomes pretty close. But I didn't get it perfect. But like I told you, I was gonna try to get as close to it as I could. And you see the two cards surrounding the 10
Ah,
is exactly the matches and pairs.
that was slick. That's sort of like Gemini twins.
Sort of like what?
It's sort of like Gemini twins. Now, there's a sandwich effect that I do. I think that's similar to this.
Maybe.
Um,
But I really, really like that
I did
effect.
not see the move, so I'm wondering if it's what I think it is or
Well, if
not.
you're wondering, it's this one.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought.
But it's
Actually,
still
I
nice.
learned that. You know where I learned that? I learned that from Brian Brushwood on Scam School.
What?
Yeah.
Like in person?
No, 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 no. That would have been cool. But no, I've been a big fan of Scam School for a long time, and that's something that move that I learned. Um, is that where you learned it, or you learned it from somewhere
Yes,
else?
that's where I learned
That's
it
where you
too.
learned it too. That's what I'm wondering because there was two. Okay, so there's two things that I was thinking of. It was either that or one of the other ones is let's see if I can do something. Okay, hold on. Um, what's okay? I'll have okay. I have you choose a card somewhere out of the middle. That doesn't matter where.
There.
Here,
Yeah.
really doesn't matter what it is. But I would then have you take the card, right, and then you take the card, place the card right back into the middle of the deck like this, and I would then uh, tell the spectator that I have helpers in the deck or something along those lines, whatever kind of pattern you'd like to make up. And usually I use the blackjacks, but this is just a little bit more convenient. Uh oh, lost my earbuds. Can you hear me?
I can hear still.
Oh wait, I think I still have one going. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So I would tell them that in this particular case, my helpers are the two red aces. Red aces are my enforcers that go in and find the cards that I need. So then I would just reveal without doing any funny moves that that person's card is right in between the two red aces.
It's nice.
And it's so simple. And that's what I thought it was at first. And then my other thought was what I learned on a scam school, but I didn't catch it. That just shows how good it is.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
see it at
like
all.
it's so
I didn't
invisible.
see
You're
it at
like
all.
10 of hearts, that one right there. And you just reverse it and spread out the cards.
It's so good.
Also,
Be like,
there's
okay, do it again because I still didn't see it.
this
Believe it
one.
or not.
It is a nice move. Like there it
Yeah,
is. That's the card.
I have to fix this audio because it's like
There's of course there is another one in that book which I also find really really cool, where you make a prediction. I think, yeah, I believe you make a prediction. No, you don't make a prediction. I gotta remember how these tricks go. You look, you need the jokers, that's for sure. Oh, you went all black. Did you disappear? It will look like our host has disappeared, and I am the last person here. Looks like our host might be back. Our host is back. Yay!
okay. So I was having some technical difficulties here. The problem is that my earbuds died, and now uh, my phone went into like this mode where it wants to like only play out of the speaker. It's like I'm talking to somebody on the phone. All right, man. All right, hold on. Let me get my other.
Later gen spawn, next gen spawn. I wish I could call you by your name, but I have no clue what your name is. And who knows? Maybe you're not even listening anymore. Maybe you're already gone. You're not hearing what I'm saying.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but
Okay,
it's
we're
the same
back
as
in
before.
business.
But I can hear you.
What? Not you can't hear me good?
It's not as good quality as it was before, but I can still hear you.
Okay.
Oh, Victor. Well, see you later then, Victor. Unless you're sticking around some more.
So did you catch what I did earlier?
In which one?
The last one I did where I had you pick a card and it ended up between the two aces because that's a really simple move too, but it's
I mean, I didn't catch it, but I would assume you just have an ace on the bottom and the top, and you just cut the
yes.
cards onto it.
No, well, it's even simpler than that. So I have you pick the card. So essentially, all I'm doing is this, and I have them return
Oh
the
yeah,
card.
reverse spread.
That's all. That's all it is, and it hits every time. It's really simple, but
Your name is Sai. How's that
it's fine.
pronounced? Sai. Sai.
It looks like.
Sai.
Are we pronouncing your name right?
The anticipation is building.
Hopefully, we are.
Is it yes or is it no? Maybe it's like Will Sai. Yes. Well, hello, Sai. Do you want to see another thing from that book, which is really, really cool?
Yes.
I think that Sean also has posted either a variation or this trick on his channel, but it's fun. It's one of the ones I do when I get a little bit more into like performing. I do like some quick ones and I can start doing the more longer routines. Not that it's incredibly long, but your spectators needs to be invested for it. But they shuffle the cards, you remove the jokers, and you're like, okay, this one with the color shall be the value of a card, and this one's going to be the suit of the card. And you can ask two spectators, which one do you want? It's completely up to you. You want this one? Okay, then you'll have this one. Do you want to switch? No? Okay, fine. Now you are going to name a number from 1 to 20, or both of you are going to think of a number from 1 to 20. Now, they can either just think of it and deal down cards themselves, or they can just name it. I really don't care either way. Like the book said to have them think of that number and then they deal the cards themselves. I would let them deal the cards themselves, but I don't think it matters that much that they're thinking of the number. It can build up the anticipation, but to make sure they're doing it right, it's also nice to be able to know. But the point is, they say a number. Like, what could a number be?
Between one and what?
20.
Between 1 and 20. Let's go with 14.
14. So you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now it's for the first spectator that gets the value, and that goes in the deck. Now the same would go for the second spectator, which needs to pick the suit. So they would name also a number between 1 and 20. And what number will that
Uh,
be?
7.
7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the jokers are placed into the deck. This is where you'd spread them out and say, we agree, like that, not to state the obvious, but had you named different numbers, they would have been in different parts of the deck. You're gonna name a higher number, and this joker would have been all the way up here, or the one right next to it, because you can imagine it could have been right next to this one, or right next to this one, depending on what you had named. But of course, that's just stating the obvious, different number, different position. But you take out these jokers. This was the one with the value, and this is the one with the suit. And now the cool thing is we're going to add everything together. We have one card for the value, one card for the suit, and two different numbers. So the value will be a 2, and it will be a hearts. So the 2 of hearts. And the two numbers you named we will also add together. Because you said 14 and 7. If we put that together, that's 21. So take the deck and count. I'll do it face up so we can see everything. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 with the 2 of hearts.
That is great. That is
It
really
is
good.
really great.
Now, I think obviously the first half I got it 100%. That the ending though is so fucking kicker. I love that.
Yeah, the ending
I,
is
I
so
didn't I didn't see
nice.
it coming. Yeah.
Rather than just
But
having a prediction, like the ending of it actually being in the combined number, that
the
is so good.
craziest thing of all is that I predicted the number 21 earlier, and the two of hearts is my favorite card.
How did you do that?
Magic,
Magic, of course.
of course. That's funny.
That is funny.
Now, I always have. I don't always have, but I like to have conversations um, with magicians about coincidence, and because with coincidence, it's hilarious. Sometimes coincidence is real magic. It really feels that way,
Yeah.
and it seems to happen a lot to me for some reason. And when it happens, it comes up, and I'm just like, yes. You
Nice.
know, it's
Nice.
that awesome feeling because it's almost like I get to do a trick for myself that I can't explain
Yeah.
how it's done. You know,
It's wonderful. I like to just have like the Queen of Hearts as a crimp or predictions wherever because it's just so commonly named.
I'm telling you, I keep one in my wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like name a card.
that
Like I got one card in my
fastest card to
wallet.
wallet you'll ever do.
It sucks. I have a lot of predictions that fit the seven of diamonds for some
Yeah,
reason. Like I got like the stellar card clip or the prophecy key. One of the things Murphy's shipped out to me was prophecy key to review, and I honestly really
that is
like
pretty cool.
prophecy key. And the
Yeah, that's
prediction
pretty nice.
is like the four of hearts and the seven of diamonds. But I wish it would have been like the queen of hearts because that's like you get the opportunity queen. You could
I
say
guess
that way
because
where
I think the seven of diamonds is pretty because of the shape. It's pretty easily disguisable. But a lot of times,
yeah.
people will either say seven. What you know, when it comes to sevens, I notice people say seven of hearts or seven of spades pretty frequently. Um,
Yeah. I mean, there's probably also just some language barrier, or not a barrier per se, but like
seven of hearts. Oh damn, that didn't work. I was supposed to hop out. Seven of hearts. Okay, it hopped out that time.
I got the seven of hearts by chance.
I know, right? See, coincidence. Yo, that change is really clean.
It's probably my favorite change of all changes. Like it looks like a
No.
flap card.
Wow.
That was a bad example right there.
Not really. It looked pretty clean to me.
Oh yeah, but like it was the same color.
All right. One more time. It is really clean.
And if you haven't seen what's going on yet, of course I just steal a card from the back and grab this
Yeah,
deck.
but the way it looks really, really, really good.
It doesn't like it looks so much just like a flap card or something like that. Oh, you can do like
Happens.
sort of right in between the fingers to where it just
That shit is
looks.
clean.
Do you do deck
That's
flips?
crazy.
I can't do deck flips. No matter how much
Lips.
I practice them, I can't
Was
do like a 360 deck flip without having cards flying everywhere. Just there's always that one card that just it goes off.
I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna drop my cards everywhere. Oh, yep, did it. I dropped them.
Oh, am I getting the hang of it after years of practice? Nope.
I think and I really hate picking up cards. So cardistry is like something I haven't really gotten into. Like I'll sit there and I'll practice a certain move or whatever, but um that was cool.
What's like one of your absolute favorite forces? Like a card force.
Oh, um, that's a good question. Um, okay, I'm trying to see how I can answer that because I have quite a few like favorites, but like for say example, just say slap. Yeah.
Stop.
Right there. Okay. And you stopped at the six again.
Nice. I assume that's like a palm.
Yeah.
You go to square
Um.
up the cards.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot easier when you have somebody else here because I was just trying to dribble them, and they were going everywhere. But usually I would do something like a one-handed top palm. I'd ask somebody to cut the deck and complete the cut, and I'd say, okay, well, let's see where you cut to. And
This is a really, really great force because just like it feels so free. They cut wherever they
very
want.
casual. Just pick the cards up. Let's see where you cut to. You know,
I really like
also,
this force, like where you can have them touch any card you want. Like that one, you sure? Well, oh no, I failed it, but like that's the card.
I know
But I
which one
feel
you're
like
talking about too. Let's see. There's something that I learned recently that I think you'll like. And I don't know why I'm going with these same cards again, but let's do it. Maybe they're mostly all together. Um, so I know you're familiar with the classic force, but this is a variation on the classic force. Like let's say, because like I told you, I've really been thinking about like wanting to force numbers, and I don't know. I've kind of been going on a tyrant about that. But let's say I spread through the cards. You say stop anywhere you like. Go ahead.
stop.
Right here. That one, or you want one more, one less?
One more.
One more instead? Okay. Stop that at 6.
Not that a 6. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Just like a block of forcing cards.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is. So basically, you get all your cards together. You need to force one particular number, for example, and you just start off with your cards on top. Cut them into the middle. Hold your pinky break, and all it is a classic force, but with 4 cards. So you have even more of a chance to hit. So you start spreading the cards out like this. Okay, just touch one card. By the time you reach your break, they're going to be touching the card that you need them to touch. You want this card? Are you sure? Okay, and then you force that card. That's it.
That's really nice.
Yeah. It's simple, but sometimes the simplest things just seem to work, right?
Check this out right here. I'm gonna go through the cards. Just think of one you see.
Okay.
Right? Do you have one?
Yes.
All right. It's gonna be so crazy. What if I told you that was a force?
I would believe you.
You will believe me. That's how kind. All right, let me. Yeah. What card was it you were thinking of?
I was thinking of the 4 of diamonds.
4 of diamonds. Shit, I might have failed. Because I got the 4 of diamonds. What?
That's so clean. That is good.
I like it.
Oh man. I don't know how I'm gonna top that one. Let me try something. Let's use. That seems appropriate. Okay. So I like this one a lot because you can either have someone cut the cards themselves or dribble the cards. So usually, what I would have them do is say, "Oh, go ahead and just cut the cards right, any way you like. Take the cards, flip them over, and we're just going to go ahead and mark exactly where you cut to, and you can see the exact card that you cut to. There's no funny business. Now I'll do a little bit of a time delay. Doesn't really matter because it's right there the entire time. And for sure, I know 100% what card you cut to. You can dribble it. You can have them cut it. They can do it themselves. And of course, you cut to my favorite card, the 2 of hearts, and that's the force.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Is it like is that from Scam School too?
Mm-mm.
Not?
Not this
Because
one.
I know this one was like it's not the cut deeper force, but if I were to force the 4 of diamonds and I say you cut wherever you want, let's say it's here, turn that over, right? and we go to the
Yeah, the
first face
prediction.
down card.
This is Brett Braun.
Yeah, it's right there on
Yep.
the 4 diamonds.
But then you keep going. I know exactly. That one's really cool. That one's really cool, especially if you use that as a prediction. No, this is something else. This is something else. Do you want to learn this one?
I mean, the only thing I can think of is like some time delay with like you cut the cards.
No,
and
you
these
can
are
cut
the
the
ones
cards.
that.
That's the beauty of it. You can cut the cards. You can cut the cards. That's how you flip them over.
Yeah, because like I'm thinking like
spread them out. You
if
cut the
this
card
the
to
top,
the card we need you to.
if the force card is on top, I do that like that, and then like that, and
I
have it spread out.
Dude, the funny part is I had a magician friend of mine. He sends me a video like all excited, and he just learned this, and he's been doing magic for a very long time now. And I was like, yeah, that's so and so, and he's like, damn, you know that? And I'm like, yeah, that's one of my favorites. It's so good. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Let's see. Let's go ahead and force the same.
Because I would assume you have the force card on top. Like if I were to try and do it now, I would have my force card on top. Say cut the cards wherever, like that, and be like, okay, so we'll take these, reverse and put them on top.
I'm trying to keep it in the screen
So
so
we can mark exactly what you've cut to.
Right,
and then this would be the 3 of clubs.
So once again, I'm gonna force. So obviously, I can force where I'm cutting, right? So to make that a little bit more fair, we'll just dribble the cards. You say stop.
Stop.
Stop right here. Okay. So mark where you cut. Put the cards down, and you'll see exactly to the card that you cut to. And it's the 2 hearts again.
So it's not the way I thought.
No, but look how beautiful this is. Look.
Yeah, and there's nothing else. There's no double backers either. What is that force? What?
Okay, so because it's so fooling, I gotta talk to you about this.
Because I'm thinking like maybe it's just like a crimp or short or something like that. But
no, it's not. That's the fun part.
Because like you wouldn't turn the deck over like that if it's like a short or a crimp.
I'm gonna fuck you up right now. You ready? Okay, so your force card goes on top of the deck, face up, and then you put a double backer on top.
So what's the double backer?
Yeah, but it doesn't really see. It doesn't feel like it is.
No.
Yeah, so have someone cut. I suggest if you're gonna have them cut, just have them cut. Say cut about anywhere you like in the deck. Here to the side. They're gonna cut. Put the cards down. You have, as long as you're using a border, you're pretty safe with this. Then all you do is turn it around and say, okay, I'm going to use that to mark exactly where you cut. You cut right here. Start talking about something else. Very lightly, just like the cross-cut force. Now, you could have cut anywhere, but you happen to cut to my favorite card, the 2 of hearts. And it's so clean because you just pick up here. You can go ahead and spread the cards back out, and
I feel like it's not even necessary to have a time delay because it's so fair.
It's
like they
not.
Just cut wherever.
It's not.
Reverse that. And
I guess more than a time delay, just have some type of pattern because it is clean. I just talk to them, look at them in the eye. They say, see it right there. You're not touching it. They cut there the entire time. Build up that suspense of what is the possibility that I could have known exactly to where you would cut within all 52 cards.
It is so good.
It really is.
Makes me want to have a double backer on me.
Oh yeah, usually there's like, okay, I'm not going to show you. Okay, I'm not going to show that one. We got to talk about that one later. But yeah, I usually keep a blank and a double on me.
I don't really keep gaff cards on me at all.
Well, I keep them with me. Usually, I have these like little leather boxes that I'll keep a deck in, and I keep the deck protected, safe. It's hard, or I'll have something like this, and you can always leave any gaffs or whatever you have inside of there. Another one that I really like. Let's say, oh, I'll show you here. Let's see if I can get away with this because this table's super small. But let's go ahead and do this. And you'll take, let's say, I mean, this is an example. You can reveal the card any way you want, but let's say I have a prediction card. I'll put it over here so you can see. I won't touch it. And then, what do I do here? I'd have you literally, I can spread the cards out, have you touch any card you want. Let's just do like this. Okay, stop.
Stop.
Right here?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Do you want this card or this card?
The bottom one.
This one? Okay, so I'll put that to the side. And this is amazing right here. So let's see. You take their card and you place it here, and you leave it sticking out the entire time so you can see what card it is that they cut to. Right? I hope I have enough room here. Let's see if I can spread these cards out. You just spread out the cards. You show what card they cut to. Obviously, you have one card in here in the back, and I'll show you the card that I predicted you would cut to, or that you would choose. It's the 2 hearts.
2 hearts.
Card that you chose. Let's see, I can. No funny business here. The card that you chose is here, and you happen to have chosen the 2 of hearts.
The 2 of hearts.
Now you probably know that one, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it is still
classic.
so good.
It's still, yeah, it's so damn good, man.
It reminds me of another classic, probably one of my absolute favorite forces. At least a favorite force in the sense of doing a trick like matching cards or a prediction on a necklace, just a prediction in general. Because this force just feels so. Of course, you'll know how it's done, but like to a spectator, it just
cards
feels
are
so
goated.
impossible. What?
Oh, Next Gen Spawn said gaff cards are goated. And yes, they are.
I just don't use them.
Now, I
They
don't
are really,
use
really
gaff
good.
cards all the time, but I do like to have my double backer. I do like to have my blank card. Because you'll be, one of the things that I've learned throughout the years is just doing this with the deck. You show, for example, I get the deck and I show the deck and I'm shuffling the deck and I'm shuffling it in front of the spectator. And I'm showing them that I'm mixing up the cards thoroughly, and I ask them something along the lines, well, you saw all the cards were shuffled, right? And they're gonna say, yeah, I saw that all the cards were shuffled. Do you think I shuffled these cards thoroughly? Yes. And then I say, but the problem is what cards? And then they're like, what's going on here? And I'm like, well, here's the thing. You can bring them back fairly easily. And I say, well, just away from my hand, all the cards are back. Stuff like that actually hits people pretty hard.
Yeah. Also, it's just one blank card you need. What is Victor saying?
Like one on miracles, yeah. Miracle level, yeah. You definitely do some miracle level stuff with gaff cards for sure.
But like the force I was talking about, that is just so lovely. It's like to give people the cards and say, start dealing them down. Stop, shuffle, okay? You can deal some more down. You can deal in chunks. Just go through the entire deck, and they do that while they shuffle, deal, shuffle, deal, shuffle, until they do that. And you say, okay, go ahead and just cut the cards wherever you want. And they cut the cards right there. And of course, it's a cross-cut force. You force the 8 of clubs. But that is such a good force because you just start with that on top, and you have to deal it down. You're like, stop, shuffle, deal, shuffle, it feels so chaotic, and it really, really, really fools people badly, even though it's like such a simple thing.
There's and there's really something to that, because there's a version that I do where I have the spectator shuffle the cards themselves. And that was not a good shuffle. I have the spectator shuffle the cards themselves. They can overhand it, whatever, give as many cuts as they like. It'd be completely thorough. I would then tell them to take the cards themselves and start dealing them down. And like you said, whenever they feel comfortable, say stop, shuffle the cards, continue dealing, stop, shuffle the cards. Oh, and you can also deal multiple cards at a time. You can deal piles. You can deal, whatever you want. Just shuffle them up a little bit more. And it's obvious at this point that the cards have been shuffled up thoroughly. Then I would tell them to pick up the entire pile and deal down till you feel like you got about half of the deck left. You can deal multiple cards at a time, doesn't matter. Oops. And then at this point, at any point, you say stop and go ahead and let's burn the top card and burn the bottom card. And then keep dealing. You feel like you got about half. Yeah? Okay, go ahead and, just in case I saw anything, burn that top card and burn the bottom card again. And then I would tell them to take a look at whatever the card they stopped at. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in frame. Okay. Take the card, put it on top, put it in the middle here. Now, what I love about this, if people use MDs, obviously there's no way, unless I'm using some kind of reflection or something like that, some type of peak, that I would know what the card is that you looked at. Or of course, if they're doing this themselves, they're going to take the card, look at the card, cut it back in, everything shuffled and fair. But I still know 1,000% that the card you're thinking of is the King of Diamonds.
King clubs.
Was it King Clubs?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I knew it was one of those.
But that's like another cross-cut variation. It's like it's so simple, but people don't really catch on to it.
No, not at all. I've fooled just about every magician that I've shown that to with that, but it's much better in person because they're doing everything themselves. So I don't have to even be near them at all.
Yeah, like burn the bottom card and do that multiple times. You just gotta know like what card is third from the bottom.
Right.
But it is really, really clever. Especially in case I saw something, go ahead and burn the bottom card. Of course, the spectator needs to know what burn means.
Right. Well, yeah. I think it even hits harder when you're dealing with people that play cards because they're familiar with a deck of cards. The fun thing is the way the version. There's multiple versions out there, but the version that I have gotten used to doing is they completely shuffle themselves. So there's no controlling of what card's going to be where.
That's really the best part about it. You just gotta know what card is in the third position from the bottom.
And the fun part is the way when I do it, like for people in person, it really feels like I'm completely hands off. It feels like I am not in control of the situation. They're doing everything from the beginning. They shuffle from the beginning. They shuffle through it. They shuffle towards the end. They burn cards, and you still know, what's going on with it. Love it. That's actually probably one of my favorite forces there.
And after they shuffle, how do you end up getting to know the force card in a sense?
It's a sneaky little move that I do, where after they completely shuffle the cards, there's multiple ways that I do that, but all I got to do is catch it in one of two ways. Sometimes in person, I'll say, "Are you done shuffling? Are you happy with that?" And I say, I say usually magicians ask you to pick a card like this, but today we're not going to do that, and I already got it.
Well, that's nice.
Another way is I don't get near anything, and what I do is I'll have them start dealing down. Stop, shuffle. I already got it.
Yeah, because I'm just assuming you're using marked cards.
Right. That's it. It's so simple. Like I'm actually working on. I'm writing a little piece on MDs here, and because there's so many things you can do with them. They don't hold you
There's
back like any other type of specialty deck would. You can do everything with them that you can do with a normal deck of cards.
there truly are a lot of possibilities.
Especially mixed with let's say some memorization systems. You can have some powerful stuff going on.
Also, yeah, I'm gonna loop back to the very first thing we talked about with the counting 10 cards. Because
Okay.
I remembered I had another prediction method, which is once you've gathered your 3 cards on the bottom, you say, okay, I've decided on a prediction. This one, I'm gonna put it in my pocket, and it's just all 3 of them.
Oh, okay.
So you put all 3 in your
But you
pocket.
just got to know the order.
Yeah, and then the order symbol is still just top, middle, and bottom, and you put that in your pocket. And then when you know the number, you can take that one out of your pocket, whichever one it is, and leave that in view. Because as soon
I
as you
had a
know the
whole
number, you know which of the 3 it's gonna be.
yeah. Yeah, that is true. And then you can instantly put your hand in the pocket and first, middle, and then last.
Yeah.
I
I
you know
just
I
don't
had
like being stuck with cards in the pocket.
yeah, yeah,
Then I gotta
trust
get them out of the pocket.
a whole body index with playing card predictions. As long as you can remember where everything's at, you can. It really looks like a miracle. They don't know. I say if you say you have some prediction, you're not saying where it is. I have a prediction, and I want you to choose whatever, and then boom, look,
Boom.
it's yeah, it's crazy.
And also just have an index.
Another thing that's really strong too is just a simple card in pocket.
Yeah.
People
Plain old
people love
card
that.
pocket.
People go crazy over it. I've seen it happen. I've seen people say that I've done a lot of crazy stuff, but they were like, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen. I've got some pretty cool ideas on card in pocket too. That was clean. Um, nice. Uh, I've got a zero effort card in pocket, literally a zero effort card in pocket where the card disappears from the deck, no palming, still ends up in your pocket or wherever you want in possible location. Super, super simple, super easy too.
And like, what, a card to pocket, but you don't palm anything?
Nope.
And the card does the hand only go to the pocket once?
Yeah. Yeah, I know
That
what you're thinking of,
sounds
and no,
nuts.
no, it's not that. No.
What in the world could that be?
I like it because it seems like nobody really knows it. Or if they do, people have dismissed the idea. But it's very powerful, very strong. That
Right,
was
yeah,
it.
it could be
Yes.
magic. So
Yeah.
what in the world, is that something you're gonna get into, or is some other time?
Oh, I've got it down pretty much. It's not difficult to do. It does require a small amount of preparation. But beyond that, everything's examinable. Go ahead, check out the cards, look for your card. One of the things I like to do is say, now watch this. I'm gonna hold my hands up here. Go to the deck and look for your card. And they get the deck. And sometimes I'll do something like I say, go to the deck, and I'll hold my hands out like this. So just place the card down here, and I'll just wait. I'll make them literally go through the whole deck. That part of it's pretty hilarious.
You said card to impossible location, so it doesn't have to be the pocket.
No.
Because I know one method, I'm not going to get into it because it's not mine, which is an impromptu card to pocket, where
I know one too.
Where your hand only goes to the pocket once, just once, and it goes empty, which is really sick. But that has to be to the pocket.
Doesn't have to be. Actually, both of the methods I'm thinking about, they're one is impromptu, one requires preparation. But the one that's impromptu is pretty cool because you could hand the deck out. You could have them look through the deck if you wanted to. Sometimes I prefer to like just spread them out just to be a little bit safer. And you probably know what I'm talking about. That you can spread them out on a table. They can literally go through all the cards. No, it's not there. And
just like that type of spread.
Yeah. Wait. I mean, you could hand them out. I've done this before. You hand them out, they'll go through them, and they won't find their card, and you can make it appear wherever you want to. And which I actually learned from David Blaine.
Oh. That one gets me. If there's no palming of the card and it just disappears, it just sounds mind-boggling.
I used to be kind of shitty at palming, so I think that was like the one thing that I had to come up with different methods because I was shitty at palming. Like, you know, when you're first learning to palm, you're like, okay, you know, you're not as smooth with it. So I looked into other various things, and one of the things that I learned from David Blaine is an impromptu. Well, matter of fact, you can use it for a couple of things, but it can be used for a palmless card pocket. And one of the funny things I think to do is, you know, pretend like you're about to palm the card, make it disappear, and then just go in your pocket and pull it out. Or whatever you want to do with it.
I'm wondering if it's like they never actually pick the card, if it's like a psychological selection, and then they go and find the card, and that's the only card that's not there.
No, but that's a cool idea, actually. That's interesting.
That would give you a card to pocket.
The only time I've seen something like that work is like, for example, with the Queen of Diamonds or with Queen of Hearts. It's already in my wallet.
Force it. Yeah. You could just force it with like digital force bag or something like that. I gotta get you a deck of cards here. I got a list from 1 to 52 cards. Name any number. I got for 3. Okay, look, this is the card at the number 3. Can you go ahead and find that card and give it to me? And then they just go through. Like, it's not here. What? What do you mean it's not there? All right, because I knew you would pick that one, so that's why I put it in my pocket. What?
He's asking if it was a mental force. No. Oh. The one that I learned from David Blaine is pretty amazing because it's impromptu. It's not a force. And it's palmless.
My palm sucks.
No, it'll look good. It's probably better than my palm.
If I do a card to pocket, I do this move that I think I made. I don't know if it's an original move, but like this one, you square it up and you can palm the card while still having it sticking out of the deck, because it's not the same card. Of course, you switch it, but it makes for a good card to pocket because it seems like it's still there.
That's where the time misdirection comes in. You have
Yeah.
it sitting there. You're talking, and then see that would be a perfect card to wallet. And let me explain. You have it sticking out, right? One of the things I like to do. One of the things I like to do with that, for example, look, let's say I just have someone go through the cards, have someone say stop. They say stop here. Pull out the card, show them the card they stopped at. Right, take that card, like you said, have it sticking out of the deck here, and so hold on, wait, okay, it's hold on, it's still there somewhere. Hold on, slap that down a little bit too hard. Oh, you can't even see it. Have the card still sticking out there, and of course the card's been swapped out. But that time delay, right now you go into doing a. I don't have my wallet with me, but if I did, I would then go into my in my pocket. Placing. You know how the card wallet works. Put the wallet out on the table, and then say, now watch this.
It's so good because you see the card there,
You see it
or at
going
least
in,
they
right?
think they see the card there. They see it go in, and you're like, boom, or whatever, magic, and it's gone. Now it's in the wallet.
And the wallet is not in your pocket, so it doesn't seem like there's a funny move going on there. It's literally right next to the deck before you put it in.
Also, Victor asked if for that card to pocket or impossible place, if it's a genuine choice. And I'm wondering that
it
too.
is. It is a genuine choice.
How?
Um,
Or you just have a body index. Let's see.
I mean that's another option too, but it being
But then
impromptu,
you still can't make the
someone
card disappear.
that's the easiest part.
Or is that like just pushing it aside and having a duplicate or a duplicate of an index?
No, there's no duplicate of making the card vanish is the easy part. Making
So
the
you can
card
have the card
so
signed too.
uh, you can have the card signed. Um, that would require an extra step.
Mm.
So it would look something like this, right? Card is chosen. Card is chosen, right? Let's say they choose this card. You then cut the deck over, ask them to replace their card here. They replace their card. Instantly, the card is now vanished. Show them the card is vanished. It's not here. So then at this point, you show them that the card is not here. The card gets then located. For example, for you, but not for them. The card does disappear. And then that card, let's say that card was signed, you then just reach up, go into your pocket, and pull out their signed card.
Yeah.
But it would
But
add a whole extra step.
yeah, that's with palming it.
Yeah. Well, you would have to palm it if it's going to be signed.
Yeah.
But
So
if
if
it's
it's
not going
not
to be
signed,
signed, you can do a card to pocket without, and it does disappear instantly.
the only way I can piece this together is like you have a duplicate hidden somewhere, like in your pocket or wallet or wherever the case may be, and you force them the card, and you just you know do that out jogged thing and spread the deck, and it's gone, so that they can't walk through it themselves like this,
That's the
unless it's
problem
like
with that method. That's the problem with that method. But this other one is so good. Um,
unless it's like a gimmick card that's like rough smooth and it sticks to the other
that's
one.
the crazy part. I can do it with your deck,
And how does the card disappear if there's no palming of the card?
bro. It's so good.
I don't understand.
Yeah, it's and without knowing like the mechanics behind like how it works, you could go through the deck like this, and you would never know what's going on. I don't want to give that one away, but there's too much stuff I don't want to give away. There's like a lot of stuff I want to teach, but we're talking
You're
about
giving it. You're giving it away to me later. That's for sure.
for sure. Nah, I've got you, bro. Because the fact that it's so impromptu, at least if you just want to make like simple, like it at its bare bones, make the card vanish, make it reappear in the deck at your will, locate it without looking. There's so many possibilities to it, but it disappears
It's
for them when they go to look.
because I could think of other ways to do it that just are not as good. For example, you could have a card placed under the cellophane. I should actually reverse it, right? And have them select any card they want. Be like, we'll put it, you remember it, we put it in the box. Leave it there, right? So that's where your card is. Actually, we shouldn't leave it in the box. We should leave it in the deck, right? And you just
Spell.
take the other one and you got it right there. But it seems like you put it in and you take it out and actually, wait, let's put it back. That's weird.
That reminds me
Or
of the card of pocket with the double backer. You know that one.
not
Jay
particularly.
Jay Sankey has like a whole routine on it. It's actually pretty cool. It's a palmless card of pocket.
So I would
Also.
assume if it's with a double backer, it's just like a double lift.
No, well, it's in the routining. It's like there is that, but then it gets complicated. Like it ends up in your pocket, then it's not in your pocket, then you get the wrong card, but then the wrong card's in your pocket, but then you reveal that the wrong card wasn't in your pocket, that it's in your pocket. It's a mess, but yeah. With the double backer though, it's pretty cool because I mean it could literally be any card. Name a card right now. Name a card. Let's say you name. Let's say you named I don't know five. Let's say you named 5 of diamonds, for example, right? Boom. The trick's basically done. I have the double backer in my pocket. I pull it out and say, wouldn't it be amazing if that was your card? You lay the double backer on top, flip it over, the 5 of diamonds, boom, miracle.
Yeah. This is because you can just let it go too, because it's a double backer. You don't got to worry about doing a double lift.
Double, then double. I
I
actually,
suppose you could just do that.
I always use a double backer in my ambitious card routines, just for that reason, as like a subtle
never do that.
condenser. No,
My ambitious card routine is such a great opener because I just do card controls that are just so invisible. Like saying like this one, like that's your card. Remember that card? We'll put it here. Voila, goes to the top.
I
Right
usually
around
started
the
off with a center double.
center double.
Yeah.
Oh, like just going to the center and being like this one.
Oh no. The center double, like the Dan and Dave, like where you say stop anywhere you like. That way they feel like they have a free choice of
Oh, right,
card.
yeah.
You go to pull out the card, you show them the card, and right here, just it's a perfect setup to say, okay, we're going to use this card for the example. Take that card, put it somewhere in the middle, or usually I put it back here because I'm going to end up using the other move here. Boom, goes right to the top. But then I'll have a double backer waiting on top. So then when it was after I flip it over the first time and show them the reveal here, I'd have that double backer on top. I'd push off the 2. I'd turn it over. I have put my double back into the middle, and it's so clean because I'll show you, you just without doing anything else. Boom, it just looks. I don't know. It's a way of. It's like a subtle convincer because in case they are thinking that you're doing a double, it makes it look like there's no way you're doing a double. If that makes sense.
That's true. Yeah, because you start off with a double and then it's a double backer.
Right. And then by the third phase, I usually end up doing a pass or something like that. I'll end up sticking the card in like face up into the deck, right? Pushing it into the deck and then getting like a break at that point. And then I'll do something like a pass or whatever to that card. Um, like if I was to take that card, put it back in, catch myself a little pinky break, and then I would do something like a pass, this, and then that card would rise to the top, even though it was face up. I usually kind of stick it to a three-phase routine, and it kind of gets redundant if I do it more than three times.
Yeah.
So I'll use the center double, then I'll use the double backer on top of that. So the double backer is waiting on top. So I remove it from the center. It's already a double. Put it on top. Put the false card in the middle. We'll reveal it's on top. From that point, it's still face up. So I just do one double at that point, one push off double lift. Put that double in the middle, and then do it one more time face up. I mean, so usually, I would do the old. Let me stick it in the middle here, but I think too many people
Right.
know that. So that that gives you a three-phase routine, and it eliminates uh, that move by the Marlowe tilt. You know,
Yeah.
eliminates
The Marlowe
it.
tilt is really nice though. I feel like if there is a move that's gotten pretty mainstream, it's probably like the double lift.
Yeah,
I see double lifts everywhere,
yeah.
and they're good. I'm afraid to do them because I feel like I'll get caught doing them if someone knows.
What kind of doubles do you do? Strike?
Well, I just pull one of these, or I do like don't really do doubles. I could do that too.
I got really used to doing like the push off. I sort of have to like not look at it or not pay attention to it in order for it to be worth anything. But I'll do a double like that. Put the card in the middle, of course, obviously. You know, that it took me a while uh, to get the push off on point. A good source, I think, to learn the push off double lift is going to be Alex Pendria. I think he probably has one of the best double lifts out there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know because I never put much effort into doubles. I did them a lot when I was younger, but also because I like to perform for magicians, like my friends, and show them what I do. And if I learn a new routine, like I want to stay away from doubles as well because it's like as a magician, we know exactly how to spot a double.
Yeah, I think
So
that
like my
the push off probably looks better than a lot of other versions for me, at least. I don't know what it is.
it's
There's
just like
something
in
about the push off that just looks, I think, pretty clean.
yeah. Oh, I changed it too. Would you look at that? There's the ambitious card routine I do. Like I mentioned, I start off just doing basic card controls. That was horrible. I just do that once and I might repeat it one more time quick and then like, okay, I'll show you really slow with the card face up so you can see the exact moment that the card goes to the top.
Exactly.
And I do one of those and from like the final phase is of course just simple, easy card to mouth. Puts the card in. That's like
So
such a
so
great
you
opener.
end yours with a card to mouth.
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh.
Like it keeps rising to the top and at the end it rises to the very top. Actually, I should just do a card to ceiling.
Hey, hey. There's some funny methods for that. I don't know if
I bet.
have you looked into any of that.
I know there's one where you toss the deck on the ceiling
Yeah,
and you just
that one card just stays up there, and it's fucking hilarious.
yeah.
The best part is if you can get really good at it with a little bit of distance, and somebody has tall ceilings, they're not getting that thing down there without going to grab a ladder. You know.
Nope. But I think that I'm gonna have to get going pretty soon.
All right, my man.
Unfortunately.
We've been on here for a while now. I think this might be, what time is it now? Or, well, man, you got a different time than me. Oh yeah, we've
I
been on
can't
here.
even look at the time in 2 hours. But
It's
I
been
know
two
it's
and a
been
half
a little,
hours.
yeah, a bit more than 2 hours. It's been a while.
Yeah, we just we ran away. Like, I think this was more of a jam session than an interview, but
Yeah.
we just
Probably.
started having fun there. But for sure, bro, hit me up. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get directly to you on those things that we were talking about right after this.
Thank you.
But do me a favor, keep them under wraps for me. They're
Of
just
course.
too good. I don't want everybody and their mom out there performing these things. It's too good, man. It's too good. Oh,
I
that first
appreciate
one
it.
I was telling you about is a perfect way to perform a card catch too. No palms.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we'll get into that. All right, my man. I'm gonna holler at you here in a little bit. Peace out.
So, bye, Victor.